Good morning, friends. In today's session, we are going to discuss about the how we are going to develop a research plan here. Okay, already we discussed about what is meant by research. Okay, how we are going to sample the research here, how we are going to write the literature survey. We discussed about that technical writing also. Done so many things we discussed. Okay, in the previous class, what in session what we discussed, we are going to discuss about how we are going to create the research plan. Research plan here. Okay, sorry friends. Okay, after defining a problem statement, okay, once you write down your problem statement, after what understanding that problem statement, okay, then you are going to identify the relating task also for that. Okay, researcher must identify and arrange his ideas in order and write them in the form of an experimental plan, or what can be described as a research plan. Just try to get understand here, friend, what they are telling. After identifying, okay, as per my experience, as for identifying, as for after defining, after understanding the problem statement, okay, what we are going to do, we are going to identify the related task, or you can say related work required to solve a problem statement. Okay, I need to gather them. Once you gathered all this one, okay, researcher need to identify and need to be arrange these ideas in order. Okay, in order in the sense that, assume like this one, to complete my research problem I require the 10 tasks are required. Okay, I need to arrange them. Okay, once you arrange that one, I need to be established, I need to complete that each task also. Once you completed all the tasks, then only you are able to complete the research problem. Then only you are able to identify the solution for the research problem. For that reason, what they are telling, in order in order to find the solution from the problem there, we need to identify this one. Okay, this, if your plan, let's know, this plan is going to be called as a research plan. Okay, this is essentially specified specially for a new researchers because of the following first thing. It helps him to organize his ideas in the form whereby, first thing, it will be possible to him to look for flaws and the inadequacies, if any. See, friends, I'm having the 10 task. Okay, if I plan for the every task then, okay, first task, assume that one data collection, one will be there, data refining is there. In my research, I'm there. The database, okay, database is over. Afterwards, segmentation is there, training is there, comparing results is there, writing a new algorithm is there. This will be the task for my research. I will do that one. Okay, if you plan for them, this will be in the first week, this will be the second week, third week, fourth week, sixth week. For the task one, I require this data. For task two, I require this. Okay, for task three, require this one. Like this, I am going to be tabulating. If you plan accurately, okay, for to get the idea for the task one, I will meet this person on this date. Okay, if you are doing like this one, everything will be handled and where exactly you are there. Okay, for the task one, task two, task three, task four, task six. Okay, during that one, if the task one, if you get any flaws or inadequacies, you can easily mark them. Yes or no? Afterwards, when you are going to identifying that one, that time instead of finding in all the tasks, in this particular task only you are having problem, you can easily identify. Yes or no? Yes or no? Exactly. For that reason, we require the research plan there. Second thing, it provides an inventory of what must be done, okay, and which materials have to be collected as per the preliminary step. Exactly. If you done this on the research plan, it will give this one. Okay, in first phase of my project, what tasks are required. Second phase of the this one, what material is required. To whom I am going to meet there. Okay, everything will be run smoothly as per your plan there. If you done, otherwise, what happens? You are going to start with the first page there. Okay, if the material is required for the last page, you stop working for the first page. You will start running finding the data for the last page. This is not going to be give that one if you not done the proper research plan there. Due to that reason, what they are telling, go for the research plan. Okay, as per the research plan, you bifurcate the thing. Okay, note down somewhere. Okay, as per the plan only you can carry out your research thing. Right now, it is a document that can be given to others for a comment. No problem. Sir, if you done this one, everything give to me or the give some other expert. Okay, give to any your research guide you can give. Ask them, sir, these ideas are there. This is like this. I am going to do that one. If you want to comment on these ideas, please let me know. I can do. will be very good thing. If they given any suggestions there, you can add that. Understanding friends what I am telling. Like that, if you are doing the research plan, no, that will be much helpful there. Okay. Now, afterwards, research plan must contain the following items. What you are going to add that one in a research plan. Okay. Advantages already we discussed. Okay. If you done this one research plan, what are the advantages? First thing, okay, everything you are going to be tasks are going to be uh, tasks are going to be planned there. As per the plan, you are going to collect the material. As per the plan, you are going to meet the experts there. Everything. Second thing, what we discussed. Yes, if you want any flaws with respect to the particular research area, particular research type, it can be easily follow that one. It can easily monitor that one. Third thing, what they said, once you return the research plan, because go and show to someone there if they given any comments, try to correct. Right now, afterwards, research plan must contain the following items. Which items should be added inside the research plan? There, first thing, research objective should be clearly stated in a line or two which tells exactly what it is that research expected to do. To solve a particular research problem, as I said earlier, the research problem is going to be get breakdown as a objectives there. Okay, if you have mentioned the, if you return the 10 objectives to solve the one problem there, okay, each objective should be clearly stated. Okay, in that state it will be tell that what the researcher is going to do. Once you combinedly done this all the objectives, definitely it is going to solve the research problem, right? Always the research objective should be in a single or the two line only, because hitting lines we are going to provide. Okay, this should be inside the research plan. I am having the 10 objectives. In that first objectives I am going to do this one. This should be done, clear cut, right? Second thing, the problem to be studied by researcher must be explicitly stated so that one may know what information is to be obtained for solving the problem. Exactly. If you studied the problem, okay, if you clearly understood that one, all the objectives, that one explicitly you can state yes or no, so that one may know what information to be obtained for solving this problem. Requirement. What they're telling? Did you people are understanding or not? Listen. Objectives you mentioned. Okay. If you clearly understand that one, bifurcated, these inputs are required for this object. You people must know that after executing the objective one, or can say so after executing the step one, what exactly you are going to get the results for that? What exactly you are going to obtain the information after solving the problem? Otherwise, what happens? You are going to plan one thing. If you are getting the information another thing, output you are getting another thing. Afterwards, you are not able to judge also. It will be totally waste of time and the energy here. So, what they are telling? State define all the objectives in a clear manner, and each objective you should be aware that what information you are going to get after solving the problem. Second. Third thing, each major concept which researcher wants to measure should be defined in operational items to context of the research project. Okay. Everywhere you should have some measurements there. Okay, for that may be input, that may be the outputs here, that may be in terms of the money, that may be in terms of the time or the energy. Everywhere you people should have the measurement for that. Okay. Fourth thing. The plan should contain the method to be used in solving the problem. An overall description of the approach to be adopted is usually given and assumptions, right? If any of the concerning method to be used are clearly mentioned in the research plan. The plan should contain the method. Exactly, friends. Which methods you people are going to be used, what things you are going to be utilized it to solve the problem, that should be available in your project. Sorry, in your research plan there. Assume one problem, one particular task is there. You are going to you are going to solve that problem by using the different methods. That method name should be present inside the research plan. For this method, as per my plan, 2 days required. For second method, I require three methods. So 3 days. Okay, I require this much. Everything clearly mentioned that. Okay, that will be help you to carry out your research problem. That I want to say here exactly. Otherwise, what happens? You are going to state that particular object there. Inside that one, you people require the 3 to 4 methods are required. For all the methods, it might be required more time. Yes or no? If you are having the multiple 4 to 5 methods are required to solve one single problem only, a single objective only. That also you need to be considered. Otherwise, what happens? Like other objectives, you kept the same duration or the time amount of time here. You fail to complete the task there. Due to that reason, what they are telling, whatever you are going to have the methods, okay, you're going to use now that should be available in your research plan. Okay. Now we move to the next plan now. The plan must also state the details of the techniques to be adopted. Similar way. Okay. I will read out this one. For instance, if interview method is to be used, an account of the nature of the contemplated interview procedure should be given. Similarly, if tests are to be given, the conditions under which they are to be administered should be specified along with the nature of instruments to be used. Exactly. After that, if the public records are to be consulted as a source of data, the fact should be recorded in the research plan. After that, a procedure for quantifying the data should also be written in all the details. Concentrate here, friends. What they're telling, methods we done already. Whatever you are going to utilize the techniques inside your project now or inside your object, you need to be mention the technique also. For the techniques from where you are going to take the resources, need to be identified. For that particular technique, what kind of test you are going to be adopted, that also is going to be okay. For that particular technique, if you require any interview for that one, if you arrange that one, that also you can add. Simple thing only. It means that whatever required things are there in your project to identify or to solve the particular problem, you people need to be utilize that one, right? These all things should be present inside your project only, inside your research plan. Now, after that, friends, we are going to use for the problem number 6 now. Okay, what that sixth one is telling, a clear mention of the population to be studied should be made. Okay, here the population in the sense that what kind of the how much inputs you are going to be utilized for, that should be mentioned here. Okay, if the study happens to be sample based, okay, the sample should state the sampling plan. Okay, the method of identifying sample should be such that the generalization for the sample to be original population is feasible. Simple. I will tell in a simple way. For your particular problem, what kind of the samples or what kind of inputs you are going to be utilized. First thing. Once you identify this one, you need to be get that from where I am going to get these samples. Second thing, for these samples, testing is required or not. Third thing, whether I need to travel for this one or not. Everything should be mentioned in your objectives. Everything. Otherwise, what happens, friends? You're not going to do this one. Afterwards, it might be going to create some problem. Yes or no? You are going to take the inputs there. You are not going to do sampling on that. The inputs might be less utilized in your project. Again, the time will be get wasted. Due to that reason, what kind of sample you are going to be use? Whether you are going to use the any sample based, okay, we are going to use the any sampling techniques for that. Okay, whether the population is feasible or not, whether it is going to be original or not, everything we are going to be considered. Okay, for that also you people need to go for the research plan only. Now, seventh thing, the plan must also contain the methods to be used in the processing of the data. Yes, sir. So many inputs we are going to be utilized in my project, okay, in my research also. Only collecting the inputs or the data, it never going to be directly utilized in your project or in your research. For that reason, pre-processing is required. Okay, if you are doing on a image processing only, pre-processing is required in the sense that first we need to collect the images, standard images. Second thing, you need to apply the resizing. Third thing, median filtering. Okay, So many filters are available, you need to apply that one. From among that all the filters, from where you are going to get the results, that things are going to be considered. Okay, statistical and other methods to be must be included in the plan. Okay, if you are using the any statistical methods are collected for the data there or in a pre-processing, you need to be mentioned inside the plan. Such methods should not be left until the data have been collected. Okay, until and unless the required data is going to be collected now, till that one you people need to be add inside the research plan. Okay, this part of the plan may be reviewed by experts in their field. 100%. Okay, whatever you done this one just you reviewed by the experts there, they will give some ideas again. As I said earlier, friend, always in the research now you require the guidance. Okay, due to that reason only the research persons they are going to be given the research guides also. Okay, every time they will give that some suggestions, as per suggestions you are going to be add. Okay, for they can often suggest changes that results in the substantial savings of time and the effort. Okay, if they given the accurate suggestions now, that is going to be reduce your time and the effort. These all things should be considered first. Okay, you need, as per that consideration you need to be plan for your project or for the research plan. Otherwise what happens, friends? It means that to run your research that should go in a smoother way. That's it, nothing else is there. Okay, afterwards the results of pilot test, if any, should be reported. If you are going to do some testing, different types of testing also there, friends. Okay, that we are going to be cover in the next session. Okay, now just to remember that pilot testing is also required. If it is required now, how much time and cost, okay, for the research project should also be prepared and laid down in the plan itself. Simple only. How much time is required, how much amount of memory is required, sorry, how much amount of money is required. Everything should be planned that way. Then only it is easy to carry it out. Once you plan that one, no, that should be visible. That should be added in the research plan only. Okay. Now, sampling the design. Before going for sampling design, friends, first try to once again we'll go rehearsal these things. Okay, in the past. In a 1 or 2 minutes we can explain, we'll go for that. Okay, first thing, research objectives over. Okay, clear cut, you define the objectives, try to get understand that one in a good way and state that objectives in a 1 or 2 line. Everywhere the problems researcher must be explicit. Once you understood that one, the problem statement should be explicitly explain that one. Okay, what information to be obtained after solving the problem. Okay, first what they're telling, define the problem correctly. Okay, understand that one. Second thing, you people need to be aware about that what the solution you are going to get after solving the problem. Third thing, everywhere researcher wants to measure should be defined as the item context of research project. Okay, third thing what they are telling, friends, the measure concept which researcher wants to measure should be defined in a operational item context of research project. Okay, fourth thing, plan for the which methods you are going to be utilized. Okay, fifth thing, which techniques you are going to be utilized in your project. These things to be there. What kind of techniques, how we are going to be utilize this one too. For this techniques, what kind of instruments required, what kind of inputs are required, everything we are going to be planned, right? After that, clear mention of the population to be studied should be made. Okay, how, what kind of the inputs required for your project there. Okay, from where you are going to get, whether that each required any testing or not, these things are also going to be considered. After that, the plan, as I said earlier. Okay, what kind of the plan content should be processing the data. Processing data is also very important, plays an important role there. At the end, friends, results of pilot test also required. Okay, with so many people, once they got the result, so they will satisfied, they will end up the research. No, need to be apply some testing also. Different types of the testing are there. This is all about the research plan. Okay, after that, friends, we are going to have how we are going to sample the design also. Okay, what are the steps are there in the sampling design. Okay, type of universe, first step. Second thing will be sampling unit is there. Third thing, we are having source list. Okay, fourth, the size of the sample. Afterwards we are going to discuss the parameters of interest. Okay, boundary constraint we need to be discussed. Okay, all these things we are going to be cover in a Nice structure there. Okay. Now, once you completed this one, we are going to be deal with what are the characteristics of the good sample design also. Okay, different types of the sampling designs. Okay, mainly we are having two types of it. Remaining things what we'll do that one. We're going to cover in the next session. Okay. Okay. If you are having any doubts, no friends, please free to mail to me. Okay. Otherwise, you can call also. This subject is totally uh, theory only. Okay, you can say conceptual only. You can easily consider and you can adopt them. You can easily whatever we studied the things, no friends, we are going to be adopt in your project there. Okay.